It's me, Love Jones. I am back with another one. It's probably been a few days. Try to get some sage or something going while I'm right here. I was just sitting up here thinking how people, it's like they go out of the way to be all in other people's energy, whether that's just draining them of their energy, whether it's trying to manipulate them, the outcome of the stuff they have going on. People read other people's Akashic records. People get readings on other people. And all of this, they do like it's okay. Like they break all kind of spiritual laws. And I'm just sitting up here thinking, in the real world, outside of the spiritual world, but in the real world, in the 3D, right here where we are right now, when someone tries to take your property, whether it's your intellectual property or whether it's something tangible, something physical, some type of property, whatever is yours, when someone tries to take that or invade that, there are consequences, right? Because it's law. But there's spiritual law too. And so my thoughts are, if we make it to where there are consequences for violating this law made by man in the 3D, then why should there not be consequences for breaking spiritual laws? And I know a lot of people probably say, well, there are. And it's what you let God handle, right? But could we say the same thing about this on 3D? Can we say the same thing about what goes on here? Just let God handle it. But we go out of our way and we have things that we do in order to not have to call on God to handle certain things for us. And so we do things like we lock our doors, make sure everything is safe, nobody get into your stuff, whether it's your house, whether it's your car door. We have locks on our cell phones so people won't get into our phones for privacy purposes. Because what's yours is for you. And people don't like to be violated. Whether that's on a spiritual level or on a physical level. And so my thing is, if someone came in your house while you were in it and you had the ability to protect yourself, wouldn't you do that? Because I don't know anyone that would say that they would not protect themselves, knowing that they had the ability to protect themselves in their house that was being violated by somebody else. I don't think I know anybody that would say they wouldn't go out their way to protect themselves and their house and whatever was in their house. And so I think about the way people break spiritual laws and the way they feel like it's just okay for them to come inside of your spiritual house and take what belongs to you out of your spiritual house. Whether they're trying to switch destinies with you, whether they're just trying to knock something that's for you, whether they're trying to step into a role of something that was for you, whatever the case may be, when they go out of the way and they break into your spiritual house, shouldn't we be doing things to protect that as well? I'm saying if we have stand your ground laws here on the physical, in the 3D, then why don't we have stand your ground laws for the spiritual as well? If you can come in my house and I can protect myself here in this 3D, and I can respond back because you've entered my house, then I should be able to do the same thing when you enter my house spiritually. So what would you do if somebody came into your house while you was in it, with your children, with your life, with everything that you value right there inside of your house, everything that brings value to you right there inside of your house? I pretty much know what a lot of people would do. You probably wouldn't leave out of their house. You probably wouldn't have a chance to make it up out of their house once you've went out your way to get into somebody's house to try to take something that they value or something that's bringing value to them. You probably won't have the chance to get out of that house. And so again, I think back to on a spiritual level, and someone that's coming inside of your house on a spiritual level. How do you handle something like that? And it's not one person or two-person. It's people constantly coming around and going into your spiritual house to try to take things that are for you and stop things that are for you and block things that are for you. How do you handle that? Like, shouldn't we be standing our ground too with that as well? And if we go out of our way to do things like lock our doors, lock our cell phones, build fences around the house to try to hide what we have of value that may be around. We put our cars in garages so that you won't just see them sitting out. We have to leave our purse in the car. We go out of our way to make sure we hide it or try to tuck it under something, put it in the trunk to make sure it's safe. So when we do things like that spiritually, using crystals, praying all the time, trying to remain grounded, but people are constantly coming at you and trying to break into your spiritual house, how do you handle that? Because I can think of a whole lot of ways to handle it, but I'm just, morally speaking, just trying to make this make sense. How do you handle that? a real question, y'all. It's not rhetorical. It's a real question. I'm curious. That's all.